What's up, everybody? It's Eddie Young, and we're back with the Middle School Football Academy. I know I left y'all for a hot minute, didn't produce a video or anything. Let me tell you real quick. Your boy dropped his laptop while I was running. Everything gone, shut down. So, note to self, word to the wise. Please, my brother, get you an external hard drive, invest in the cloud, whatever you got to do. I have no idea how much data I lost. Anyway, it's gone now. I'm starting all over from scratch. So, hey, pray for your boy. But in the meantime, I want to talk to you about something, okay? Especially for those of us who are getting ready to get back into it for the next season. You know, you start looking at your playbook and you're like, what are you going to call these plays? What are you going to call these formations? And tonight, I just want to talk to you for a little bit about what you call it. All right. So now, three things specifically when you're preparing as far as what you're going to name your formations. First of all, I want you to think about your style of communication. Are you huddle versus are you no huddle? Okay. So if you're calling out a formation, if you're a no huddle team, it might be a little bit faster for you to have your formations as one word. If you get them in the huddle, sure, you might be able to expand your verbiage a little bit, but also understand if you have too many words in there, you're asking your quarterback to produce a whole lot. Okay. Next thing that you want to think about is, does it follow a system? All right. So you don't want to call one formation Alabama and the next formation spread 13. Okay. So everything that you have as far as naming your formations has to follow a specific system. Okay. And don't worry, I'm going to give you a few examples in a little bit. Okay. Last thing I want you to worry about or think about is, do your players actually understand what the formations mean? Okay. Now, here's a little, once again, a little helpful hint. Sometimes we as coaches, we mistake what we know for what's going to be easier for our players. Okay. It doesn't matter what we know. All right. And just because it's easier for us doesn't necessarily mean that it's easier for our players. If your players understand comic book names, name the formations or your plays comic book names. If your players understand states, maybe states is what you need to do. Okay. But whatever it is, it has to be something that your players understand and that they comprehend. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen and we'll talk a little bit about some different examples. Okay. So these are all real base level formations, some things that we have seen, or at least that should be familiar to you. First one here is a little simple 2x2 formation. All right. So I got a few examples up top here. Okay. As far as examples of names. So you can call this ace right, running backs on the right hand side. You can call it spread 22 because you're reading from left to right. You got two receivers over here, two receivers over here, gap two, right? So it's 2x2, running backs to the right, call it spread 22 right. Also, once again, a little quicker, call it razor. All right. Now, the opposite of this would be what? Laser. Okay. So, like I said, that's one example. Okay. Now, let's look at another formation. All right. This is blue. All right. A lot of air raid teams, they know this one, simply call it blue. Another way to call it would be doubles 12. Doubles because you have two running backs in the backfield, and 12 because you have one receiver on the left, two receivers on the right. Okay. Once again, something a little quicker, bull. Okay. And what will be the opposite of bull? Bear. What's the opposite of blue? Green. All right. So we're starting to see this little, once again, the pattern and the system of what you can do with your players or with your formations. Next up, here's another one. Early, spread 13, or Ricky. Early, once again, typical air raid formation name. Spread 13, you got one receiver over here, three receivers over this way, okay? Now, let's just say that you wanted to reverse this, all right? So if we had if the trips receivers were on the left and the one receiver was on the right, it would be spread 31, all right? Now, Ricky, because you have three receivers where? On the right, okay? The last example I'm going to show you is the empty set, empty formation, okay? So empty right because you have your trips receivers on the right-hand side. Spread 23, two receivers on the left, three receivers on the right. Ram is another really quick example, okay? So hopefully that all makes sense. That's something that you can put in your back pocket that you can use when you're thinking about it. You know, never be afraid to tinker with what you do. I'm not saying, you know, be a mad scientist and start throwing things away and switching things up unnecessarily. But if you find something that says, you know what, maybe, just maybe, this would be a little bit easier for my players. All right. So once again, I'm Eddie Young. You're in the Middle School Football Academy. No matter what you're doing, whether you're getting ready for this season or next season, I want you to keep things in mind for your players, help them be as best as they possibly can. We'll see y'all next time. Oh, and if you got the hookup on a laptop, help your boy out. We'll see you. Peace.